Hi ladies, this is for how to convert fractions into decimals. The good news is there's more than one way to do it, so it involves your creativity and great thinking. Let's say we have the decimal 4/5. We have the fraction 4/5 and we want it to be a decimal. Well, one way of thinking about this is 4 divided by 5. 4 divided by 5. Now 5 doesn't go into 4 evenly, so we could put a point 0 and make this a long division problem, which we could do. We put our decimal point up here. 5 goes into 48 times, and it goes evenly, so there's no remainder. So my answer is exactly 0.8. I could have done this another way, though. I could have said 4/5 is the same thing as what over 10, or what over 100, because a decimal is based on 100. Deci stands for 10, as you know from what you're learning in physics. So if I multiply by 2 on the bottom and by 2 on the top, I get 8/10. And when I divide by 10, I move the decimal over equal to the number of zeros. There's 1 0, so my answer would be 0.8. So that would be two ways of doing the same problem. So on your Delta Math, there's a place to add in if you have an exact answer. And then also there's a repeating part. We don't have a repeating part, so I'm just going to delete it. And yes, my answer is exactly 0.8. Okay, what if we had 1/6? Well, could we apply the same trick that we did here before, where we can multiply 6 by a number and get 10 or get 100? Well, I don't think that's going to work. So I think we're going to have to do 1 divided by 6. 1 divided by 6. Since 6 doesn't go into 1, I need a decimal point and a 0. 6 goes into 10 once. And I get a 4, and so I need to add another 0 and bring it down. 6 goes into 40 6 times, and I get a 4, bring down the 0. 6 goes into 40 6 times, multiply, subtract, I get a 4, bring down a 0. Oh, it looks like we're doing the same thing over and over again. That means I'm going to have a repeating decimal. So 1/6 is the same thing as 0.16, and the 6 is repeating. So in your Delta Math, you can put a 1, which is not a repeating part, and the 6 is the repeating part, and that's how you submit your answer, like so. Okay, let's try another one. How about 19 divided by 30? 19 divided by 30. So 30 is on my outside, 19 goes on the inside, and we need to start off by putting a decimal point. So 30 goes into 190. Well, think about how many times does 3 go into 19? Well, isn't 3 times 6 equal to 18? Therefore, 30 times 6 is 180. So that's my closest number that goes in without going over. I subtract and I get 10. Well, 30 doesn't go into 10, so I need to bring down another 0. How many times does 30 go into 100? It goes in 3 times. 3 times 30 is 90. Subtract, I get 10. Bring down another 0. Uh-oh. As soon as I notice that I'm doing this same operation 2 times in a row, I know I have a repeating decimal. So I know this is going to end up being another 3, and that 3 will go on forever and ever and ever. It's infinite. So my answer is going to be 0.6 with a 3 repeating. Isn't it amazing that there are some numbers that, even though they're fractions, they go on forever? This is an example, by the way, of a rational number. So remember, the difference between a rational and irrational, rationals can be expressed as fractions. This is a fraction. It goes on forever, and rationals are allowed to do that. But irrationals also go on forever, just a distinction. But you can't write them as a fraction like you would here. Okay, hope that was helpful so that you can do these problems on your own. Good luck.